welcome to our first 45-minute yoga class. This month we're focusing on the Root Chakra, or Muladhara, which means the base of support in the body. It's at the bottom of the spine. And so we're just going to be taking some time today to connect with ourselves and with the earth, really ground in so that we can start our first month off with a feeling of settledness and groundedness. We're going to start out today's practice seated with a mudra. And so if you want to slide a blanket or something underneath you, you're welcome to do so. And we're going to go ahead and bring the hand to a fist, except for the pointer and thumb fingers, which you can bring to touch gently. We'll bring the palms facing down on the knees, or if at any point you want to switch to palms facing up, that's totally fine, up to you. We'll start with the hands down. We'll go ahead and lengthen the spine upwards, drawing the crown of the head up. Release the shoulders back and down. We'll bring the chin parallel to the floor, slightly pointed down, and here you can gently close your eyes. We'll begin to draw inward. First, just noticing any sensations in the body, in the arms, the hands, the head, tuning in, noticing your breath. Before rushing to change or fix anything, simply noticing. We'll go ahead and begin to breathe in and out of the nose, an even breath. Allowing your inhales to expand your lungs outward, and your exhales to contract them inwards. Leave a gentle pause between your inhales and your exhales to just notice the space in between. Chinmaya means the embodiment of knowledge. And so here in this space, we're going to be embodying the knowledge of our rootedness, our connection to the earth and to those around us, that sacred connection within us that cannot be taken away. In this space, you can maybe imagine a red light at the base of your spine. Maybe it takes the form of a flower. With your inhales, you can imagine the flower opening, growing brighter. And with your exhales, you can imagine the petals closing and growing darker. Continue to breathe deep as you visualize this. And maybe in your mind you can find a mantra here, something that has to do with your rootedness to the earth, and to others, and the connection to the self. I'll give you a moment to see if anything comes to mind. The mantra that I'm going to use this morning is, I am safe, secure, and grounded, and I am deeply connected to myself and those around me. If you'd like, you can use mine. And we're just going to embody this mantra as we continue to breathe for another minute, just repeating it in your head. one specific word that sticks out to you in your mantra that you can just hold on to. Whatever highlights itself to you, find that word. Maybe break it up with your inhales and your exhales. Maybe move through it one more time. Then you can release that word, just coming back into your body. Taking a moment to feel the earth beneath you supporting you. Feeling the places in you that are touching the floor, your feet, your ankles, your sits bones. Feel that sense of connectedness with the earth. Go ahead and invite in a deep breath here, allowing your lungs to expand further than they have yet today. And exhale out with an audible sigh. Letting go. You can release your hands, and when you're ready, go ahead and gently blink your eyes open, coming back into this space. Taking your time, acclimating to the light. Notice any sensations you feel in your body, in your fingers, your arms, your head after that practice. Just relish in those before we move on with our practice. We'll return to that word multiple times through the practice, so keep it close to you. We're going to go ahead and start on our backs. So if you have a blanket that you're sitting on, you can move that out of the way. We're going to come down to the back. We'll start with the feet bent, maybe walking them wide on the mat. We're going to bring some movement into our breath here. So with the arms down by the sides, palms facing down, we're going to inhale as we draw the arms up overhead. And we'll exhale, floating the arms back down. Moving slowly, inhale, arms float up. Exhale, arms float back down. Letting the breath just fill the entire movement here. Letting your breath breathe you as we flow up and down, like you're moving through water. Let's do one more like this. Inhale, arms up overhead. And exhale, arms back down beside you. We'll straighten the legs out in front of us. We'll inhale the arms back up overhead. And with the exhale, draw one knee into the chest. Inhale, releasing the arms back up. Exhale as you draw the opposite knee in. We'll just keep moving through this at your own pace. Inhaling the arms up. Exhaling one knee in at a time. Gently waking up the body. With the next leg, we'll go ahead and pause here with the knee in. Continue to breathe deeply as you hug that knee closer to your body. Breathing deep, maybe roll out that ankle a few times, both directions. Good. We're going to keep this leg here, and we're going to send the opposite leg up. So the opposite heel reaching towards the sky. Foot flexed. Taking a few breaths here. Good. Well, go ahead and release the knee that's bent, sending that leg out in front of you, maybe a couple inches up off the floor. Just activating the muscles in your lower belly and your core, warming up the body. If this feels like too much, you can bring that foot down all the way. We'll just keep breathing, or maybe you bring the hand to the back of that foot that's upwards. One more breath here. And release. Maybe shake out the legs a little bit, and we're going to switch sides. We'll inhale the arms up overhead, and exhale, drawing the opposite knee in this time. We'll take some deep breaths here. Maybe rolling out this ankle, both directions. Good, and then we'll draw the opposite heel up towards the sky. Taking a few breaths. Good, and then maybe you send that first leg out straight, hovering a couple inches off the floor. Maybe you wrap your hands around the leg of the foot that's towards the ceiling. Just continue to breathe here. Let's take one more deep inhale. And exhale, releasing both legs down. Shake out the legs. You can bring the feet back to the mat. We're going to walk the feet wide. Arms down by your sides, palms facing down to stabilize you. We're going to do some windshield wipers. So we'll slowly drop the knees over to one side. Inhale as you draw them back up to center, and exhale as you drop them down to the other side. We're just moving slowly here. Once again, like you're moving through water. Side to side, letting your breath fill each movement. Finding control in your core. Let's do one more on each side. Okay. We'll go ahead and roll over to one side, pressing that top hand into the mat to come back up to seated. If your hips are tight, go ahead and slide a blocker or blanket underneath you. And we'll begin to find some more movement here. We're going to start with some side-to-side movements. So you can bring the fingers on one side down towards the mat, maybe even if you don't have the block underneath you, your forearm will come down to the mat as you lift the other arm up overhead. We'll inhale as we move up and exhale as we move to the other side. Inhale up, exhale over. Just move at your own pace. Once again, slowly, like you're moving through water. Noticing any tightness in your low back and your hips as you move. Just acknowledging that. Maybe your gaze follows your fingers. Just find what feels good for you in this space. Let's do one more on each side. And we'll come back up to seated from here. We'll do some seated circles. So you can go ahead and bring your hands to your knees here, and we're just going to round the spine slowly. Inhaling as you move forward, and exhaling as you draw back in, chin to chest. Inhale, open your heart forward. Exhale, drawing back in. Continue to move at your own pace slowly. Being aware of the different muscle groups along the way, what feels tight or sore. Rooting down through the hips as you move. And we'll switch directions here. Let's do one more full circle. And we'll come into a tabletop. Knees underneath your hips, wrists underneath your shoulders, or slightly wider. You'll want your fingers spread here, and we're going to do some cat-cows. We'll start with the inhale by lifting the heart, followed by the neck and the head and the seat. And we'll exhale, drawing the spine upwards, tucking the chin in towards the chest. Continue with your inhale, opening the heart forward. Exhale, round the spine upwards, belly button pulls up towards the sky. Continue to move at your own pace, gently waking up the spine. You can explore this movement even further. Maybe by walking your hands a couple inches forward. With your exhale, send your hips back towards your heels. With your inhale, pull your heart towards the floor before moving back up. Connecting with the earth through your hands, through your knees, and through the tops of your feet as you move. Feeling that stability even as we move. Good, let's do one more of these. Exhale, hips to heels. Inhale, pulling the heart forward and up. We'll walk the hands back towards the knees. You can tuck the toes, and we'll walk closer. If you have any pain in your ankles or feet, you might want to stay here. And if not, we'll continue to walk the hands up onto the thighs. You can stay here, or you can clasp your hands behind you, maybe leaving your pointer fingers out, lifting your heart upwards, maybe drawing your gaze upwards, breathing deep, releasing tension in the arches of your feet. One more breath. You can release, bringing your hands back down and walking them forward. We'll go ahead and enter into our first downward facing dog. So you can keep the toes tucked here. Fingers spread wide, pressing into your fingertips and into those knuckles in the palm. And when you're ready, we'll go ahead and lift the hips. Let's keep it bent in the knees to get started. You can maybe press one heel down at a time. You could also walk your feet wide towards the edges of the mat and a little bit closer to you. Pressing your weight into one hip at a time. Just loosen those joints a little bit. Good. We'll walk the feet back underneath. Draw the gaze forward, and we'll step to the top of the mat for forward fold. Feet should be underneath your sits bones here. Maybe keeping that slight bend in the knees. You can tuck your hands into your elbows, swaying from side to side. Go ahead and release the hands down when you're ready. And we'll go ahead and send the hips upwards, lengthening the backs of the legs. Maybe shaking your head yes and no, releasing tension in the neck. With the next inhale, we'll come up to a halfway lift. Hands to shins, gaze forward. Exhale back down to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, this time coming all the way up into your mountain pose. Feet press into the earth, arms reach up. Exhale, draw your hands together to heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll pause here. Rest your thumbs lightly on your chest. Take a second to lift and drop your toes a couple times until you feel that you are evenly grounded into the earth here. We'll go ahead and gently close the eyes, returning back to our original intention, our mantra, maybe that one word that you connected with. Letting that feeling permeate you, that feeling of connectedness, groundedness, and rootedness. Holding on to that like a precious jewel. With your next inhale, you can release, drawing the arms back up. And we'll exhale, folding back forward. We'll move through those sun salutations a couple more times. Inhale, hands, shins, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up to extended mountain. Hands at heart center with your exhale. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. One more time. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, extended mountain. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, extend the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Here we'll go ahead and step the right foot back, coming into a lunge. You can use a block to support you here, or a block on both sides of the foot to support you if you'd like. And we're just going to rock back and forward a little bit, finding some movement in that hip socket, inviting it to loosen up. Maybe finding a little bit of a bounce here, lubricating that hip joint. When you're ready, we're going to make our way back into a plank. So you can press into both hands, send that left foot back to meet the right. We'll lower the knees down before lowering the belly down. You can walk your fingers forward here. And we're going to keep the fingertips pressed into the mat. On your inhale, we'll press gently into the fingertips, lifting the heart forward and up just a little bit. Exhale, come back down. Your next inhale, we'll do that again. Pressing with the fingers, lifting just slightly. And exhale, back down. Good. From here, we're going to press back into our child's pose. You can have knees together or wide, whatever feels good to you. Arms reach out in front of you. Take a moment to center yourself, drawing back inward. When you're ready, we're going to go ahead and come back into our downward facing dog. Press the toes, the fingers, and the palm into the mat, lifting your hips, pressing your heart towards your thighs, maybe taking a second to drop one heel at a time. Step to forward fold, and then we'll step the left foot back. For a low lunge. Once again, you can use a block to support you if you would like. You can rock back and forward. Maybe find a little bit of a bounce in your hips. Then we'll go ahead and remove the block. Step the right foot back to meet the left. Lower the body all the way down, knees first, belly second. This time, we're going to walk the hands forward. With the inhale, we'll press into the hands, lifting the heart. Coming into our seal pose. Release tension in your low body here, keeping your heart pressing forward, opening. Maybe lifting your gaze for a few breaths. And then we'll lower back down. And we'll press back into our downward facing dog. Draw the gaze forward. Hop or step your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, lift the arms up, extended mountain. Exhale, lifting your left knee, pulling it towards you. We'll take a couple breaths here. Inhale up into extended mountain. Exhale, lifting your left knee. We'll grab onto it with hands for a couple of breaths. Good, and when you're ready, we're going to send that leg straight back behind us, coming into our crescent lunge. Fingertips lift upwards, right knee is over your right ankle. Hips are squared forward. Keep breathing here. Sending that left heel back. Good. Inhale, lengthen your fingers up a little bit further. We'll exhale, coming into our warrior two. Right knee stays over right ankle. Left foot presses into the earth. Right fingers reach in front of you, left back. Try to reach forward just as much as you are backwards here. Good. With your next inhale, we'll come into reverse warrior. Lifting that right hand up. Left hand can go to your left leg or can wrap around behind you. Gaze maybe follows the right fingers. Keep breathing. Good. With your next inhale, come back through warrior two. We're going to make our way into Trikonasana triangle pose. Straighten the right knee. Reach the right fingertips forward as far as you can before opening up to the side. Left fingertips reach up or maybe extend overhead. Keep breathing. Pressing equally into both feet. Reaching upwards just as much as you are downwards. With the next inhale, we'll come back up into our warrior two. And with the exhale, we'll bring the hands down to the mat, stepping the right foot back to meet the left in plank, lowering down, maybe partially or all the way. Inhale up for your heart opener. And exhale back into downward facing dog. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and do the other side. Gaze draws forward and make your way to the top of the mat for forward fold. Inhale up into extended mountain. Exhale, drawing your right knee in towards your chest. Keep breathing. When you're ready, we'll go ahead and send that right foot behind you, coming into your crescent lunge. Fingertips reach upward, while shoulders are drawn back. Hips are square forward. Left knee over left ankle. Right heel presses back. Good. Inhale, drawing your fingertips up further. And exhale, coming into warrior two. Reach forward just as much as you are backwards. Feel that strength, that stability, that connection with the earth beneath you. With the next inhale, we'll come to reverse warrior. Keep breathing. Good. With the next exhale, we'll move to warrior two. We'll straighten the left knee, reach the left fingertips forward as far as you can before opening up Trikonasana. Fingertips reach upwards. stabilize with that left hand. Feel your strength in the duality of moving upwards and downwards, forwards and backwards. Good. With the next inhale, we'll come back up to warrior two. And exhale your hands down to the mat. Step your left foot back to meet your right and move through your chaturanga flow. Lowering down towards the earth. Opening your heart with the inhale. Exhaling back into downward facing dog. We'll move through that a little bit faster. Go ahead, draw your gaze forward. Make your way to the top of the mat for forward fold. Inhale, arms up to extended mountain. Exhale, lift the left knee. Take 2 breaths here. We'll send that left foot back to crescent. Take a couple breaths. Inhale, lift your fingertips. Exhale into warrior two. Take 2 breaths. With your next inhale into reverse warrior for 2 breaths. Exhale through warrior two into triangle for 2 breaths. Inhale up to warrior two. Exhale, hands down to the mat, move through your flow. Draw your gaze to the top of the mat. Make your way forward. Inhale up, extended mountain. Exhale, lift the right knee. 2 breaths here. Send the right foot back to crescent for 2 breaths. Inhale the fingertips upwards. Exhale into warrior two. Inhale, reverse warrior for 2. Exhale through warrior two into triangle. 2 breaths here. Inhale back up to warrior two. And then exhale, moving through your flow one more time. Lowering down. Inhale up for your heart opener. This time exhale to child's pose. Arms reach in front of you on the mat. Forehead maybe rests slightly on the mat. Draw back in, feel that warmth inside your body, and bring yourself back to that word. Feeling it permeate you, feeling your connectedness to the earth, your groundedness here in this space. Good. And we're going to come all the way back up to standing when you're ready. So maybe take a sip of water and make your way back up. We're going to start with the feet wide on the mat here, parallel to one another. And we're going to come into our 5-pointed star. So we'll reach the arms up overhead and out towards the opposite corners. Feeling our strength here, heart open, maybe gaze upwards. Just inviting in life, inviting in vitality and strength. Good. We're going to come into our malasana or yogi squat pose. So you can maybe bring the feet a little bit closer here. We'll bring the hands to touch, and then we'll go ahead and send the seat down. We want to keep the heels on the mat, and so block to support you here, and I'll show you how. So if you can keep your feet down, feel free to do that with your hips coming down, or you can grab your block, maybe putting it on its tall side and sitting on it to support you. Maybe if that is not working for you, you can sit in a chair, bringing your hands together and finding that connection instead. So whatever variety works for you, honor yourself. If your hands are together and your heels are on the floor without support here, just be sure to press your elbows into your knees to open them up wide to keep your heart open. You don't want to be dumping forward here. You want your heart open. Maybe close your eyes here, drawing back in. One more breath. Good, go ahead and lift the hips, walk the feet wide, and come into your wide-legged forward fold. Maybe shift your head side to side. Adjust the width of your feet however much you'd like. You could keep your arms tucked into your elbows here. You could also lock your hands behind you. Just find an expression that feels good. Being sure to breathe, fill your body with oxygen. Good, you can bring your arms back underneath you. We'll bring the hands out so the arms are T, and we'll lift starting from the heart, followed by the neck and the head, back up. Good, you can go ahead and release that. Maybe shaking out your legs a little bit before we come back down to the floor. We're going to come into our pose with our feet touching. And you might want to have some support. You can support yourself with a block underneath your hips. Then bring your feet together to come into this. You could also, if you are feeling a little bit warmer in your body, you could play around with block underneath your feet to change the stretch a little bit. Another way you could support yourself is a block under each knee. Whatever feels good to you. We're going to grab onto the bottoms of the feet like you're opening up a book. We'll inhale, lifting the crown of the head upwards. Exhale, beginning to fold forward. Continue that movement. Inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, lowering down until you find a good spot for you. And just breathe there. Release any tension you might feel in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders. Inviting release in the hips. Inviting yourself to let go. Knowing that you're safe and securely held. You can go ahead and make your way back up when you're ready, and we'll head over to the back to hug the knees to the chest. Good, when you're ready, you can go ahead and release. And we'll come into our final resting pose. You can bring your feet out towards the bottom corners of the mat. Arms down by your sides, palms facing up if that feels comfortable. Just letting yourself release your weight onto the floor. Here, we'll release the muscles in the body. You're exactly where you need to be in this moment. And know that you can return to this place at any time throughout the day that you need. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Thank you so much for taking the time to practice with me today, to be present and honor your body. Have a beautiful rest of your day.